Frank Flegg here, founder of Ethical Property Partners, the place where we help you to make annual returns on our property on a monthly basis. So I'm here in the beautiful Cotswolds. We're here for a bank holiday weekend, about 12 of us, just chilling, taking in the end of the summer here in our beautiful UK countryside. And just this afternoon, I have completed on the biggest deal I've ever done. Now, over the next few weeks, I'm going to be unpicking this deal and explaining every single facet of it. Myself and my business partner own 27 properties that today we have purchased no money down, not used a penny of our money on deposit, on the purchase price, on stamp duty, on legals, accountants' fees, none of it. It's all been covered using other people's money. Purchase price was £2.5 million. We have a RICS valuation done just a few weeks ago at £3.6 million. So that's a £1.1 million discount. And so for the people that say that no money down investing is impossible or unethical, or you used to be able to do it, you can't anymore, this was done with the explicit consent of the lender. So the lender knew that we were borrowing funds from investors. They lent their money because they understood the commercial nature of the transaction. They looked at it and they said, well, if you're getting a £1.1 million discount, we don't need a deposit from you. We're happy that you're borrowing some from investors, some from us. And that's how we did the whole transaction, using none of our own money with a massive below market value discount. We've already agreed to sell on 2/5 of the portfolio. The sales are agreed in principle. We can now start conveyancing. But Friday afternoon, my business partner and I have just added £1.1 million to our portfolio in terms of equity, £3.6 million to our portfolio value. So that's £1.1 million in net worth appreciation on one day. And some people would look at it and go, oh, but Frank, you've taken on £2.5 million worth of lending. That's true, we have. But it's good debt. And that's what Robert Kiyosaki talks about in Rich Dad Poor Dad. He talks about it more actually in the cash flow quadrant. You want to take on debt to buy assets. That's what we've done here. There's a net worth increase by buying this asset despite taking on the debt. And it's cash flow positive. Once we've refinanced, it's actually cash flow negative in the short term, and I'll unpick that in future episodes. In a nutshell, we went to, I think it was 7 finance investors and borrowed around £650,000. And we went to one bridging provider and borrowed £1.8 million. And that got us to about where we needed to get to in terms of purchase price of 2.5, legals, accountants' fees, stamp duty, land tax. And there were loads of layers to this onion. There was the vendor situation and the way we negotiated with the vendor, the way we found the vendor. And here's the thing, anyone in this country could have found that vendor. There was nothing special about it at all. We ran a specific type of advert that actually brought in 3 different vendors. We spoke to them in a way that anyone else in the country could have spoken to. Anyone watching this video could have done this deal if they'd taken focused and determined action. And that's the difference. So we've been working on this deal since November and it's completed end of August. That's a long time to work on one deal, but is that worth 1.1 million? I think so. The cash flow on this portfolio will be amazing once we've got the rents up to market rent. They're below market rent at the moment. And once we've got the portfolio under decent lending. As I say, we're selling out 2/5, which will repay a chunk of that lending a few weeks to sell those properties, but we've already agreed the sales. So I'm going to unpick over the next few weeks the mentality, the psychology that made me able to do this deal with my business partner. It wasn't easy. We actually struggled with our psychology at times because this was the largest deal I've ever done. I've never got a £1.1 million discount on a property before or on a purchase. I've never bought 27 dwellings in one go before. So we had to adjust our psychology. Now that I've done this one, I'm confident I could go and do a 50 unit deal. But the most I'd done before was 3 or 4 in one go. And so this was a big step up, partly why it took so long. I'm going to talk you through the psychology. I'm going to talk you through the vendor negotiation. This vendor wanted to sell before Christmas, but was delighted and happy. In fact, did an 8-hour round trip this morning, getting up at 5 a.m. in order to complete this deal. And they now are grateful to us. They're saying thank you. We're really on good terms with them. We've provided a service that they wanted all along. It wasn't the time frame we wanted, and it wasn't the time frame they wanted. So how do we keep a vendor on board for that period of time when they're selling below market value? Most people would think you'd need to buy that in a week or two. It's not the case. You need to solve the vendor's pain swiftly, but what they want and what they need is often different. And if you give them what they need, then they're happy. So the psychology, I'm going to talk you through what the vendor relationship was and how we achieved that, the marketing and the sales process, the things that went wrong on this deal. There are many things that went wrong. The layers of icing on this deal, and there are many. There are tax savings on this. There are all kinds of layers of icing that we couldn't foresee at the start, but because we had the cake working, because the deal worked as a basic deal, we were laughing. I'm going to talk you through the opportunities that didn't pan out as well. At one stage, I've talked about on this channel, we were going to flip all 27 units and make about 600k in our pocket. That's no longer going to happen. It fell through. But that didn't mean that we hadn't hung all of our hopes on that one deal. We had a plan B, and then we went for plan B when that plan A didn't work out. So this was plan B. It wasn't even plan A. Plan A would have been nice, 600k in our pocket right now. But 1.1 in equity is okay too. In fact, I'm delighted with it. In fact, I wonder if it's a blessing in disguise. And then I'm going to talk you through the actual mechanics of what we've done. How much did we borrow from whom? How did we negotiate that? How did we secure that? How did we bring in that much money that quickly? We actually decided to buy this in, I can remember where I was. I was in Menorca. So when was that? That was July. Less than 8 weeks ago, we decided plan A was dead. We'd been waiting. Now we needed to go for plan B. How did we bring in 2.5 million? The bridging finance is secured, but the other 650 or so, it's between 600 and 700. I'm not sure on the exact amount, but I'll give the precise details in a future episode. That was all unsecured. Every penny of it was unsecured. How do we do that in 6 to 8 weeks? And then what are our plans moving forwards? I'll talk you through how we're going to monetize it, how we're going to get down, because yes, the cash flow on this is phenomenal. Brings in, as you can imagine, thousands of pounds every month, but 2.5 million pounds of lending at various interest rates. And I'll talk you through the interest rates. They range from, I think the highest is 10%. Down to 5% a year. So that's the range, but I'll talk you through how we've negotiated it, why people are on different rates, etc. So that's a big expenditure every month. Some of that's quite short-term finance, some of that's quite long-term finance. But you can work all this out on a simple spreadsheet. Really easy to do. It doesn't just magic itself. You have to actually take the action. You have to follow a process. You have to have learned the knowledge and then applied it. And the funny thing is, if you jump on the forums, if you go on the websites where there's loads of free advice, people will tell you it's impossible. They'll say, no money down is dead. Don't believe the snake oil. Don't buy the snake oil. You'll go on a course and pay a few grand. Rubbish. People come on our 4-month trial for £3,000 and do deals like these. Perhaps not so big. This is the biggest one we've ever done on the partnership. But they do no money down deals for £3,000 worth of learning because it's over 4 months and because we hold people's hand and show them how to do it. And when it doesn't quite go to plan, we help them to course correct and take more action. And so it is possible. It is ethical. The vendors wouldn't be happy. They wouldn't be doing us a video testimonial. In fact, we may share their video testimonial on this channel to show that there is such a thing as a win-win below market value transaction. Guys, I hope this episode has inspired you. I'm inspired. I'm excited. We have a thing in EPP where we crack open a bottle of champagne for every completion. And we'll certainly be cracking open a few bottles this evening. Until next time, happy investing.